concerning development in this story. Tonight, we can reveal that a 12-year-old boy is still missing after disappearing from a Home Office-provided hotel, which was housing child asylum seekers who'd crossed the Channel alone. This admission comes directly from the Home Office after a Freedom of Information request by Channel 4 News. Until now, the government hadn't disclosed this detail. The boy is among 154 unaccompanied children still missing in all. These are children who crossed the Channel on small boats and were being housed in 7 hotels across 5 local authorities. Last month, we revealed how some of these children had been found and even sometimes arrested hundreds of miles from where they went missing. Well, tonight we have new data which sheds more light on the missing children. All of them are male, and the Home Office says the majority still missing now have a claimed age of 18. Claimed because they're unable to verify the children's ages in many cases, so all of these could be older or younger than claimed. But some of them were much younger when they disappeared. As we've heard, a 12-year-old disappeared, a 14-year-old, and these are still missing, by the way, 10 15-year-olds, and 32 16-year-olds. So where did they come from? Well, more new information here. 135 of those still missing are Albanian. The others are from countries including Taliban-controlled Afghanistan, war-ravaged Syria, and countries with developed economies like India, Turkey, and Vietnam. We also have more new details on what happened to some of these children, and this information comes from the relevant local authorities, minus Oxfordshire, who declined to answer. And they tell us that between July 2021 and June 1st this year, these 4 councils were notified that children had gone missing on more than 400 occasions. So let's look at Warwickshire. The county council there says 22 of the 38 children who went missing from the single Home Office hotel in its area are still missing. 7 of them are under the age of 18. And of the children found, it said 2 had been found in circumstances where there were concerns in relation to human trafficking or modern slavery. Now let's go to Kent, where the county council says that children were found in circumstances where they could have been exploited or victims of crime on 25 occasions. And all 25 were judged at risk of trafficking. 5 were at risk of criminal exploitation, and 1 was at risk of child sexual exploitation, as well as 2 at risk of radicalization or modern-day slavery. Now, the Home Office says the hotels had 24/7 security, and the well-being of the children was their priority. And when a child goes missing, a multi-agency missing persons protocol is mobilized involving the police and local authorities in order to establish the child's whereabouts and ensure they are safe. That's what should happen. But tonight we know that among 154 missing children who were not found safe, there are teenagers and also, alarmingly, a boy who is just 12 years old, still missing from a Home Office provided hotel. We don't know where he is or what efforts continue to be made to find him. Well, let's speak to Laura Duran, the Head of Policy, Advocacy and Research at ECPAT International, a charity which campaigns to end child exploitation. The latest information is that a 12-year-old boy is still missing after disappearing from one of those hotels. What do you make of that?
Any child going missing, be that a 16, 17-year-old or a younger child, is absolutely unacceptable and appalling to us. Obviously, given his age, being 12 years old, it's even more concerning due to his developmental capacity and the vulnerabilities that he would have at such a young age, being exposed to so much significant harm outside of the care of local authority.
We revealed recently some information about when these children go missing and are found, and then they're arrested in different parts of the country. And a lot of that takes place in London for theft and drugs offences. Now, do you see these children as criminals or as victims?
I think that is a very common misconception about children, particularly those who are exploited for the purposes of criminal exploitation. They will often be arrested for offenses that they've committed as a result of that abuse. That unfortunately is a very common pattern for child victims of trafficking across the UK, both British children and foreign national children. So it is not surprising that these children may have been found in situations by which they were arrested. And it is very, very likely that a lot of those circumstances that led to their arrest were a result of their exploitation, rather than these children being seen as criminals.
So what's going wrong here then? Because the Home Office says that these hotels have 24/7 security, that the well-being of the children is their priority, and when they go missing, there's this protocol is established to try and find them, and yet 154, including some very young children, remain missing.
Well, with all due respect to any steps the Home Office has taken, and we welcome those steps to try to protect these children as much as they can, the crux of the matter is that we have here a department that is primarily concerned with the functions of immigration and policing, accommodating really vulnerable, unaccompanied children completely outside of its expertise and functions.
I mean, this has been the subject of political debate as well. I mean, there's some teenagers among those who are missing, as well as this 12-year-old boy. Do you think we collectively show enough concern about the fact that we don't know where they are or what's happened to them?
Absolutely not. This is a devastating child protection scandal, and we have really regretted a lot of comments made by members of parliament and other government officials suggesting that just because these children are predominantly 15, 16, 17-year-old boys, that there's no vulnerability there or that they don't matter. It's a fact that these are children and they have rights and entitlements like any other child, regardless of their immigration status, and we should be responding to them accordingly.
This has been going on since July 2021. The Home Office has tried very hard to get children out of hotels, and briefly they said that they managed to stop using them. Do you hope that there will be no more children housed alone in hotels in future?
Well, despite these reassurances from the Home Office, it does lead one to wonder why they have taken steps to legislate powers for themselves to accommodate these children lawfully in the illegal migration bill, if the intention is to, as they have said, stop the use of hotels entirely.
Laura Duran, thank you so much for speaking with us. Thank you.